congressional elections. Is it possible there could be anything that we're going to go to the president now? He's speaking again.
Great personality, and we had a terrific day, and we learned a lot about each other and about our countries.
What did you learn about him? What did you learn about him, sir?
I learned he's a very talented man. I also learned that he loves his country very much.
When will we see each other again?
I'll see you again.
Will you be meeting again, sir? Will you see each other again?
We'll meet again. We'll meet many times. Thank you very much, everybody.
That was the president in another handshake with Kim Jong-un. This time, the president saying in answer to a question, what did he learn about Kim today? He said, and this is the highest compliment you can get from Donald Trump, he said, I learned he's a very talented man. And Jason Johnson, that is the president's favorite word when it comes to a high compliment. He sees everything in terms of that word that rules show business, talent.
Oh, yes. Talent, performing. A lot of people don't know this. I was waiting for him to actually say, a lot of people don't know this. Kim plays the piano or something like that. I mean, but again, you know, this is what I was saying before about this may be a president uniquely suited to speak to Kim Jong-un because they both understand the power of flattery, because they're both grotesquely insecure men, despite having a tremendous amount of control domestically. Now, again, I also think he sort of told on himself here with this second set of questions and these awkward handshakes they're doing in the hallway. He said, we're going to meet many times. That's probably the deal. That's probably what they signed, that they're going to have future meetings. If those meetings accomplish anything, I don't know. Is Dennis Rodman going to be there? Is Pompeo going to be there? But they probably just agreed that they're going to have future meetings. And Trump will continue to say that Kim is talented, and Kim will say things about him back home, and both of them will feel like they accomplished something when, in fact, nothing has really changed.
Ambassador Michael McFaul, on this notion that they're going to meet many times, the next thing that will be in the air, the next question that will be in the air is, will there be a White House meeting? Should there be some threshold for that?
Well, Lawrence, I want to see the document. I want to see the word denuclearization in the document as a goal that has been agreed to. Without that, the process doesn't matter. Let's just be clear about that. If we haven't agreed to what is the objective that has been agreed to by both sides, then the other meetings is just process, and I think we should say it's a failure. But if it is there, and if Kim Jong-un has just signed a piece of paper saying he is signing up for a process to get rid of all of his nuclear weapons, that would be an achievement.
We're joined now live from Singapore by NBC News global correspondent Bill Neely. Bill, are there any indication about what the two leaders have just signed?
No, none whatsoever. They've signed the document. President Trump calls it very important and pretty comprehensive. You know, the easy part is over, the photo op and signing this document. Now the hard part begins. Whatever's in it, and we'll be listening very closely and watching very closely, as your previous contributor said, for words like denuclearization or verifiable or irreversible. But, you know, the hard part will take place over the next months and years. Lots of fine words here. You know, Kim said the world will see a major change. It's a historic meeting. We're determined to leave the past behind. But we've heard fine words from the North Koreans before. I mean, they've signed agreements before, 1994 chiefly, but also in the 2000s. Agreements to shut down a nuclear reactor, agreements to freeze work on nuclear weapons and tests, even signing the Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty. 1994, big agreement, and then we discovered in 2002 that they had been cheating all along. Kim is playing the long game here. Here's a guy who wants to be in power for 20, 30, 40 years. He knows President Trump will only be in power for 3 years or 7 years. The skeptics would say he's just trying to wait the United States out. Now, whether that's true or not, we still, again, going back to what I said, we don't know what's in this agreement. Yes, the optics are great, and this will go down very, very well in North Korea, because here is the leader of the US and North Korea on equal status. Look at the flags behind the two leaders. 6 North Korean flags, 6 American flags. The numbers of officials matching exactly on each side. In North Korean terms, this is their leader, not just being treated as a normal leader, but being treated as an equal to the most powerful man on the planet. This will go down well in North Korea. But going back to your first question, what's in it? We'll possibly find out when we hear from President Trump at a news conference here in a few hours' time. Lawrence?
Ambassador McFaul, the president we've seen tonight is a president who's treating the dictator of North Korea with more respect than we have seen him give any other head of state.
Yeah, I don't like the photo op, just to be clear. I'm glad it plays well in North Korea. It doesn't play well here in Palo Alto with me. There's no reason you have to use that language to sign that deal. And again, we're waiting to see what it is, right? That will tell a lot of things. But you don't need to call him your best friend to sign a deal about nuclear weapons.
Thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Subscribe by clicking on the button below for more from The Last Word and the rest of MSNBC.